Okay. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? I don't know if you noticed, but I got a new microphone. What do you think, huh? I was sick of the bad sound, and anyway, this was donated, so I much appreciate it. Anyway, tell me. Oh, it's low. Let me turn it up. Okay, I'll turn it up. We can't have that now, can we? Here we go. Oh, I have it almost all the way up. How's it sound now? Still low? I'll turn up the gain right here. More volume? Is it good? Turn on my speaker. How is it now? Much better. Okay. But is it normal volume? Okay. So how's it sound? Does it sound smooth like butter? All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in here today. Yeah, we're live. This is me right now. Or maybe a couple of seconds delay, but I don't know if my voice is matching up. I changed microphones. I had it set to the other microphone. Maybe it's the same. I don't know. Still seems quiet? I'm going to turn up the gain a little bit more. I just don't want it to get distorted. That's the problem. Bridget says smooth. All right. Fine. Buttery, says Steven. Hey, where are you all coming in from? Let me know your place of origin. Greetings from snowy Red Wing, Minnesota. Smooth jazz. Sync is good. All right. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, I'm upgrading. Isn't that cool? And for those of you who are new here, this is my monthly live stream in which I discuss what I think are the most interesting archaeological and ancient historical discoveries of the month. And that's what we're going to do today. I curated a bunch of them. We're going to go over them, but it's also a chance for you to chat with me, ask me questions. We can shoot the breeze a little bit, without getting too far off topic. But that's the point of it. So this is a slower going kind of thing. Live streams, they're not like bam, boom, bing, bang, boom, like regular videos. But that's okay. Just hang out with me for a little while, okay? About an hour. That's all it will take. And maybe you can even have this on in the background while you're, doing the dishes or whatever. All right. Well, anyway, I've got some good ones for you. And the purpose of going over these discoveries each month is because not only am I excited about them, but it also just drives home the point that archaeology and ancient history, they're constantly updating. We're always revising, okay? We have to say, all right, now we know something new. This other thing we thought before is wrong. Now we know this, or it just adds to our knowledge. Whatever the case may be, there's always new things coming in every single month. And I have to, when I choose them, I'm not like looking really hard for stuff. Like I have to delete things because there's too many. So, yeah. And so for those of you who are archaeologists and I didn't put your thing in here today, I do apologize. All right. Oh, okay. We've got people from, let's see, Sweden. We've got Georgia. Upstate New York, home of the Hawks, Mexico, Germany, first time here. Well, great to have you. California, another Sweden, Kuwait, Texas, Eastern Washington, Germany, Beaufort, Georgia, Hot Springs, Arkansas, UK, another Germany. I'm from a planet far, far away. It has come to our attention. You are changing the narrative. That is all. Hope you have the Stonehenge story. I don't have the Stonehenge story, but I've got better ones. Okay. Yes. Chicago, UK, Northeast US. I'm assuming so. Montreal. All right. Great. All right. Let's get started on our first one. Nebraska. Congo Malonga. Oh, wow. Boulder, Colorado. All right, you guys are going to keep going, but let's go on to our first one just to get your appetite wet, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, I got to switch over to this. All right, we're going all the way to Iraq, everybody. University of Coimbra team discovers monumental building shedding new light on the origins of civilization. And that's civilization with an S because this is British. Okay. The latest discoveries from the Tanis Archaeological project. All right, take a look at this. These are the excavations at Tanis, and they've uncovered a monumental building at the site in Iraqi Kurdistan. The project is led by the Center for Studies in Archaeology, Arts and Heritage Sciences at the University of Coimbra in partnership with the University of Cambridge and the Salami Antiquities and Heritage Directorate. Yeah, this discovery sheds new light on the early history of Mesopotamia. You're always interested in that. I'm interested in that. And the Zagros Mountains, helping to clarify the sequence of human occupation, particularly during the 4th and 3rd millennia BC. And just for those of you who have to keep things straight in your head, 4th millennium BC, that would be the 3000s, okay? And 3rd would be the 2000s, yeah. The team uncovered an official monumental building on the upper part of the mound, which may have served as a cultic space. The building dates to the Uruk period. Do you know when this is? The Uruk period? Uruk is the first definitively established city in Mesopotamia, okay? 3300 to 3100 BC is the period when it popped up, right? This is very early, and this building is dating to that time, all right? So, wow. If the monumental nature of this building is confirmed, it says, which we are now investigating in detail, the discovery could transform our understanding of Uruk's relationship with surrounding regions, showing that sites such as Tanis were not marginal, but rather key actors in shaping cultural and political networks. Yeah. Now, of course, every archaeologist wants to say that their site is like a really super significant site, but this seems significant to me, right? See, Tanis is regarded as the most important archaeological site east of the Tigris River for understanding the sequence of human occupation from the early Bronze Age through to the 3rd millennium, continuing to reveal new insights into the earliest social and political developments in the Fertile Crescent. Yeah. Anyway, here's some pictures from the site. Here are the archaeologists and their helpers at work. Look at this, huh? Cylinder seal. Just the little thing, that's the actual artifact. The clay is new, okay, but it's showing you what's on it. Here's a building here. Oh, where's the arrow? Is that it? No, there's more. Take a look at this. Painted pottery. And, yeah, you can get a better shot of the site there. Better look at it. Pretty cool, huh? I want to go to Iraq someday. When things are... Well, actually, it might be okay now. I don't know. Anyone know how it is over there? It'd be great to go there and do some exploring. We've got people from Missouri, Romania, Virginia, Central Texas, Denmark, Kernau. Is it Kernau? Kernau? Kurdistan would be North Iraq, so maybe north of Sumeria. Right, it is northern Mesopotamia. Hello from the Netherlands, Australia. Any new discoveries that confirm the Bible? Not this month. Yes, it's way better since 2019. Oh, that's good to know. Dartmoor. All right, great. Let's look at another one here, folks. This one is from Turkey. Turkey. Now, I don't usually do prehistory, but this has been going all through the news and everything, and people would get mad at me if I didn't say anything about it, and I'm interested in it, okay? And it's from the Taş-Tepeler cultures. You know what those are? This is in northern Mesopotamia again, but earlier, and we're talking about sites like Göbekli Tepe and those kinds of sites, but there's a bunch of them, not just Göbekli Tepe. Everyone thinks about that one, but there's a whole bunch of them. And look at this. Now look at that photo. Now you would think if you saw that they're excavating a city. But so far, it hasn't turned out to be a city, but a major settlement. Okay, this is pre-cities. Okay, that we're talking about here. Now, who knows? They could find, that the population there is into tens of thousands. Maybe it's a city, but right now, it doesn't appear to be the case. As a matter of fact, and people get so offended when archaeologists say this, it appears to be a hunter-gatherer site, although in later times in this area they did develop agriculture, but many of the early occupation levels of these sites are from the pre-agriculture period. Anyway, this is the site of Karahan Tepe. Maybe you've heard of it. All kinds of things have been found there already, but look at this huge rectangular building. Yeah, this is in the Stone Age, right? Neolithic, that's late Stone Age, but this is the Stone Age. Okay? They don't even have bronze yet. Isn't this amazing? And not only that, they found all kinds of sculptures. Look at this one. Now, this was found at Göbekli Tepe. Okay, this was found just recently at Göbekli Tepe, this year. Okay, and then this here is, this one's from Cyberch. Okay, look at that. It's like he's got like the ribs. You can see his ribs. Okay, he looks like he might be dead, representing a dead person, or who knows. All right, and then here's a close-up. Isn't that interesting? Now, someone, an archaeologist, now I forget who, but on social media, I noticed the other day, mentioned that it looks like, I don't know if you've seen at other sites, not here in this area, but at other sites nearby, sometimes they'll bury people with seashells in their eyes. And it looks like it could be on his eyes, maybe seashells or something like that. Who knows? We'll find out. Sefer Tepe is another one. Look at, they found this there. All kinds of work is being done in this region, folks, not just at Göbekli Tepe, but excavations at Karahan Tepe especially, all kinds of things. Cyberch also. Archaeologists are actively working there and finding all kinds of interesting things. Look at this. Oh, this is the one from Göbekli Tepe. Yeah. And then actually I have another page here where this was found at Sefer Tepe. This face. It's a little bit blurry, but yeah, these 12,000 years old. Can you believe that? Wow. Okay. It gives me Moai vibes. Yeah, the other ones, certainly. Now, things are just coming in. These sites are so full of stuff, right, that you're going to see stuff coming in over the next few years like you wouldn't believe. And so I got to cover that, right? And what we're going to find out is going to take some time because you have to study things. And by the way, the news that I go over each month is not just what they first pull out of the ground right now this month, but also, or I should say reported this month that they pulled out of the ground this year, but also what people have studied after things have been found, right? So new historical studies. Maybe they took things into a lab that they found last year and they're studying them and then have announced something this month. I'm going to talk about that kind of stuff too. Yeah. I wonder if seashells on the eyes have a correlation with coins on the eyes. I don't know. Nobody knows why exactly they did it. But, it is an interesting similarity. Or cucumbers on the eyes, Oh, that's when you're alive. I swear this channel makes me regret not pursuing my childhood dream. Oh, you want to be an archaeologist? Well, I'm not an archaeologist. I'm a historian, but I know what you mean. But hey, come with me on one of my trips. We explore. We find ancient ruins. It's amazing. Well, we don't find ancient ruins. We go to ancient ruins that other people found, but we still explore, and it's a lot of fun. Okay. Oh, did I click off on something? I hope I didn't. Protective. No, that's okay. I don't think I did. All right. Archaeologists discover how oldest American civilization survived a climate catastrophe. All right. Now, what we're talking about is Caral Supe, that civilization. Have you ever heard of it? Sometimes it's called Norte Chico. It's in Peru, northern Peru. And this is the first civilization, meaning urban culture in the Americas. Okay. And Here you have a picture of Caral. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Penico. Penico. Yes, Penico. Which, by the way, was found fairly recently, Penico. And so that's a pretty cool site, too. And it's kind of part of that whole period. But now they've found artifacts showing how populations survive drought without resorting to violence. Okay. So new evidence. How the oldest known civilization in the Americas, isn't it interesting that they have civilization with a Z in the text, but with an S here? Well, it's The Guardian, so it's UK. But who wrote this? An American? Or maybe. A team led by the renowned Peruvian archaeologist Ruth Shady, 78. Okay, she's been around a while. Concluded that about 4,200 years ago, severe drought forced the population to leave the ancient city of Caral and resettle nearby. That's why it was abandoned, right? They left behind all this evidence so that people would not forget that the climate change was very severe, causing a crisis in Caral society and its civilization. And they didn't want people to forget what caused it. And I mean, so wait a minute. Did they find writing there? No. They're in images. Okay. One of the sites where the people of Caral made a new home was Vichama, that's how you say it, I think, to its west on the arid Pacific coast, where the inhabitants survived by fishing in the sea and farming. The other settlement was Penico, the one I just mentioned. All right. Settled between 1800 and 1500 BC. See, this is very old, folks. This is like Egyptian, this is like the time of Ramses and all that, okay? Nestled in the same valley. It mentions this here. Archaeologists say the people of Caral took with them their sophisticated decorative techniques of temple pyramids and sunken circular plazas to the new cities, which also featured new imagery telling their survival story to future generations. One of such set of images at Vichama, on the walls of a temple, it is formed of three-dimensional mural reliefs that depict emaciated corpses with sunken bellies and protruding ribs. On a second wall above and set back, there are pregnant women, ritual dancers, and a pair of large fish. Above both, on a higher wall, is an almost cartoonish design which shows the face of a toad emerging with human hands being struck in the head by a lightning bolt. Okay. After the deaths, the empty stomachs, a toad appears emerging from the earth with lightning striking its head as if announcing the arrival of water. That's the interpretation. Here we have a bit of it here. I guess these are the emaciated bodies. And that's the only one they give us, unfortunately. But hopefully we can see more, and they'll publish it. But it is interesting how do you get the message across, right? And now, of course, this is all open to interpretation, but connecting that with what we already know, there was a climate disaster, and then we know that they moved to these other places because they've brought Caral decorative designs with them, and then they have these depictions which look like emaciated bodies. It makes sense to put those together, and this is kind of supposed to be a narrative here, right? Yeah. The Guardian blocked me for my anti-government comments. Well, I'm sure they were very clean. Miano, 1800 BCE is way older than Ramses, though. I'm sorry, you're right. It is. It's more of Thutmose the Third. Okay, it's around that time, and Hatshepsut. Okay, you're right. You're right. Okay, let's look at another one here. Ancient. Actually, it's even before them, is it not? 1800? Yeah, it's before the New Kingdom. 1500 isn't, but 1800, yeah, we're in the Middle Kingdom. So sorry about that. That's Middle Kingdom. I have to do this off the top of my head, you know. All right. Ancient DNA reveals living descendants of China's mysterious hanging coffin builders. What does this mean? I don't know if you know about these hanging coffins. Do you see these here in the picture? Yeah. Now, they've been there a long time, okay? And there were two main competing ideas about who put these here. They're very old, okay? They're dated to, see, I have to go off the top of my head again. They're 3,000 years old, okay? So that would be about 1000 BCE, okay? So they're 3,000 years old. Now, the people who live in the area now are the Bowl people. All right? So one idea is that it's theirs, okay? That they've been around that long and that they are descendants of the culture that made the hanging coffins. But another theory is that, this is a lost civilization. In other words, there are people who lived here, they died off, they left, and something happened to them, and then the Bowl people came in. Well, they took DNA from remains in the coffins, and what did they find out? You can see some more pictures here. Oh, that's the only picture. Okay, what did they find out? They found out they're Bowl people. Yeah, which means that the people who are living there now, that ethnic group, are descended from the hanging coffin builders. Yeah, pretty interesting. Yeah, that's kind of a cool way to and if I'm not mistaken, the reason they think that they're on the cliff face like that is because there were enemies in the area and they were worried about them being desecrated. Yeah. Okay, let's look at another one. This is from Anatolia, Turkey, and a 2,000-year-old stadium emerges at Blaundos. Okay, it's a fortress city. This is on top of the, it's way up, and of course in the mountains. All right, a stadium. Now they already found other things there, so they already knew about the site of Blaundos, but the stadium is new, a Roman era stadium. Yes, it's if you take a look here, there's excavators at work. Okay, this is a newly identified section of the Roman stadium, revealing terrace walls and rock-cut installations. They found a rock-cut water conduit supplying a Roman bath, the stepped entrance zone, and a terrace wall. Here you can see the monumental gate of Blaundos, which they've already excavated. I'm sorry. I got a new phone, and I don't know how to... See, my other phone, you just click a little button, and it silences. But this one, I don't know how to do it with. Yeah. Here's another shot. Can you imagine? Look at how high that is. Makes it pretty impregnable, right? Here's a bit more of Blaundos. Blaundos, yeah. I did not get to go there when I went to Turkey, but that would be an interesting place to go. All right, let's look at another one here. Archaeologists uncover a 2,300-year-old fortress city in Uzbekistan's Kashkadarya oasis. Yeah. So Central Asia, they've been doing a lot of archaeology lately, especially in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. But other places too up there. But in Central Asia, lots of archaeology going on, finding things that we had no idea were there. And it's so cool, right? So this is in Uzbekistan. They found this fortress, a fortified city, I should say, and it flourished between the 3rd century BC and 3rd century AD, it says. So that 600-year period, all right? So this is around the time of the Roman Empire, all right? But of course, outside of the Roman Empire. It was on a caravan route, however, going from between west and east. Yes. So you can leave a little bit more here. They didn't leave us a lot of pictures of the fortress, unfortunately, but here's a few shots. Okay. Yeah. Specialists plan to broaden excavations, conduct architectural mapping, and apply advanced technologies such as photogrammetry, soil analysis, and microexcavation of painted plaster fragments. Yeah. So more is being found in Uzbekistan. I love it when, cities or countries that you think, oh, there's not a lot of ancient archaeology there, start finding stuff, and it enriches the whole culture there. And of course, it makes it a place that people might want to visit. So I thought that was interesting. Let's see. Turkey. Thanks, Homer. The people alive are related to the living. Not much of a surprise. Well, people move around, I guess, yeah. It's really popular in pseudo-archaeology circles to say like, oh, those people, they just inherited that stuff. They didn't make it themselves. Yeah. Blaundos Broncos, Mile High Stadium. Seems like there's way more kickoffing in Turkey than there used to be. Yeah, I should mention that too. Oh, they have a lot of archaeology going on right now. Tons. Yeah. Of course, also Archeo News is I think they're based in Turkey, so they have a lot from that area. All right, now it was a few months ago, I think, that I mentioned that they had done some scanning of some kind of the Menkaure pyramid. This is at Giza in Egypt, of course, and found some voids in there. So this is going around now in November, and I have to assume that this is a second scan because they announced the other one months ago. So, but they're saying again that they detected air-filled anomalies in the Menkaure pyramid. Now, if you take a look right here, you can see the Khafre pyramid in the background. But the Menkaure pyramid is here on the left. This is the granite casing at the bottom of the pyramid. And there's a flat part of the granite. The rest of the granite's all kind of lumpy. But there's a flat part that's kind of in a rectangle. Looks a little bit like a doorway, you know, but there's no door. So that's where they've been scanning, right? They use radar, ultrasound, and ERT. And so I'm not sure if this is like replicating the earlier study or using different technology than the earlier one. Or if it's the same one and they're just reporting it again, I don't know. But it seems to be new, okay? And they're saying the hypothesis of an entrance is very plausible. That's their conclusion, okay? They found a couple of voids. Now, I think in the first, see, the story as I related it before is that there were two small voids. Now maybe they're a little bit bigger than they thought. So it could be an entrance. Or if they're just kind of playing up this scan to make everyone excited, I don't know. All right. But it's just a scan. Nobody opened anything up. There could be something there, maybe. So they're saying, well, you know, it's plausible that there's an entrance. Maybe. So the jury's out, okay? But it's cool that they're doing the scans, right? The Scan Pyramids projects, they work on other things too. You probably heard about the void in the Great Pyramid. And I think there's some efforts going on right now to try to investigate that further. But I thought I'd share that with you. Air-filled anomalies like orbs. Much love to my alien brothers. It's maddening that people refuse to research and have never read a Phase 3 archaeology report. AKA Dust Motes, LOL. Just sign your name. I was here. I don't think it's an entrance. I don't think it is either, but I don't want to, you know, everyone's going to say, you said it wasn't an entrance, and it was, you know. But I don't think it is. The team is using further techniques other than the muon scan. Okay, Stuart, thank you for clarifying. I remember now. It was a muon scan before. So they've confirmed the voids. Yes. Yes, it is. Before trying to throw a spanner in the works, at least try to educate yourself on the basics. Yeah, Aubrey. All right. Can't contribute to your goal from Cancun. Oh, Jack, you're in Cancun? It's okay, Jack. Yeah, Jack is the one who sent me this microphone, so I think he's done a lot. Okay. This let's go to another one here. Landscape-wide cosmogram. This is the study itself that I got here. Built by the early community of Aguada Phoenix in southeastern Mesoamerica. This is Maya, folks, Maya. Okay. So I'm going to summarize this study basically for you. A landscape-wide cosmogram, what does that mean? It means in this settlement, this Maya settlement, there is on the landscape a cosmogram built into it in the shape of crosses. There's like a huge cross, cruciform structure, and then there's another one inside, right? Anyway, here's what it says. We investigated the site of Aguada Phoenix, which features the oldest and largest monumental architecture in the Maya area. So this is early Maya, okay? Using light detection and, well, they're using LiDAR, and excavations, we documented a site plan composed of nested cross forms built between 1050 and 700 BCE. So we're talking about, this is old, okay? This is before the classic period of the Maya, okay? Its center was marked by a large cruciform cache containing the earliest known directional color symbols in Mesoamerica. I noticed they're being very cautious about saying Maya here, but I thought I read Maya. Oh, in the Maya area. Yeah. But this is very early, okay? I mean, it could be Maya, but it's before the Maya really took off. Yeah. The overall pattern consisted of 9 and 7.5 kilometer long axes delineated by canals and corridors. The builders constructed canals and a dam to supply them with lake water. Although the canals appear unfinished, this site plan exceeded or rivaled the extent of later Mesoamerican cities. It was probably designed as a cosmogram, which likely attracted people from a broad area. Cosmogram meaning it's representing the heavens, okay? So it's astronomical in nature. And it would be like the earliest Maya representation of the universe that has been found. Anyway, what about pictures? Okay, here's showing you the area here. And right there, okay? Check that out. Can you see it? Yeah. See the cruciform shape? And then there's another one inside. Yeah. You can see a drawing of it here. And by the way, that is the at least we know from the later Maya, that's how kind of how they portrayed the universe, etc., the heavens. So, anyway, this is a cool study as well. Published this month. I worked in Mexico in the 90s trying to prove the Maya collapsed due to salt mine depletion. Now we know the good doctor was wrong. About salt... me? You're talking about me? Or another doctor. Anyway. Are you a real person? Please reply. I'm real, okay? And all the people in the chat are real. Absolutely. Aguada has distinct similarities to Olmec. That is the working theory now. Yeah, this is the time period of the Olmecs, right? It could be the continuity between Olmec and Maya. Nat Geo just published a doco. I did not know about that. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Maya were some deep thinkers. What were they smoking? Now, have you ever heard of the Ivries Monument? The Ivries rock relief? Well, if you watch my series, Antiquities Explorer, you know about it because I went there. I was standing right in front of that thing. All right? It's a really cool place. There's like water all around it and everything. And we know a lot about this relief. We know who the king and all of that. Warpalawa, king of Tuana. Okay? It's all about him. Anyway, you can find out more in my video about it. But there was a limestone stela that was found at the site. Okay? Not just now. It was found before. But it has now been deciphered, if you want to say. Here's the study here. An Anatolian hieroglyphic inscription on a stela of Tarhunza. Oh, I think that was Tarhunza, not Warpalawa. But anyway, it's got a translation. Here it is right here. These are hieroglyphs, right? Well, they've been read. Now, if you read the translation here, there's a lot that's ... which means there's missing parts. There's words that they don't know exactly what they mean. For example, this Tarhunza came down and he marusha'd them up. That's because this word marusha, they don't know what it means. So he did something to them. He marusha'd them. Yeah? Okay. We don't really know what the word means, but I can guess what it means. Okay. And thereafter he did not hold or keep him or it nowhere for the kings. See how this is all very difficult to translate, but we've got some of the words, okay? And he something breads away, and he shall keep this wine available. So there's something about food here, all right? The splendid oxen I made available. He's supplying, and a great many sheep and a great many goats. Oh, it is Warpalawa. Sorry, I was right in the first place. Okay. So he's, I guess there were people in need, and he's supplying them, something along those lines. Okay. Anyway, I thought that was cool. They translated a new stela, or it's a new translation of an old stela. Okay. LOL, I bet he did. I wish I was a bot. Check this box if you're a human and not a bot. Oh, man. Well, you have to give me like all the pictures, and then I can choose, the right pictures. Serious question. Why did they write any other story after the Gilgamesh epic? It is enough. Oh, come on. There's a lot of great stories out there. The Shawshank Redemption, all that stuff. Okay. Archaeologists lift the lid on a 1,700-year-old Roman sarcophagus hidden beneath Budapest. This is an intact Roman sarcophagus they found, okay? It was actually closed and never before opened. And how do they know it was never before opened? Because it was hermetically sealed. Yeah, they found a woman inside of it. It's really cool. So it's not the whole tomb. It's just the sarcophagus that was untouched by the looters. But it was found with its stone lid still fixed in place, secured by metal clamps and molten lead. When they lifted the lid, they uncovered a complete skeleton surrounded by dozens of artifacts. And it was a woman, by the way. This is from the 3rd century. Okay. They still have to analyze her and all of that, so they can't give us all the information now. But the deceased was buried very carefully by her relatives. They must have really loved who they buried here. She had 2 completely intact glass vessels, bronze figures, 140 coins, a bone hair pin, a piece of amber jewelry, traces of gold-threaded fabric, along with the size of the skeleton, point to the grave belonging to a young woman. Yeah. So they're going to analyze the body now, but anthropologists will now examine the young woman's remains, a process expected to reveal more about her age, health, and origins. Anyway, so that was found this month. Isn't that cool? And this is a video. I'm not going to play it right now, but I'm going to leave all the links afterward, and you can check it out. Karaganda archaeologists discover rare Saka warrior tomb. I don't know if you know who the Shakas were. Basically, it's the Scythians. Okay, it's talking about people from Iran area who had come from the north. Shaka warriors. Shakas are usually what they're called in India. So they found a tomb, a Shaka warrior's tomb. Okay, and you can see up at the top here. There's a bronze sword. The skeleton was actually holding it. It's called the Akinak sword. All right. And after removing the covering slabs, we saw a skeleton in correct anatomical order. In his right hand was an Akinak. We haven't had such findings in many years. Dating back to the 7th to 6th centuries BC, it says. Yeah. Oh, I thought there were more pictures. I saw another article that had more pictures, but I guess this is not it. Oh, you might be wondering what Karaganda, where is that? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's in... Well, I don't want to be wrong. I better double check on that. Anyone know where Karaganda is? Oh, Kazakhstan. Yeah. It's Kazakhstan. Correct. Okay, yes. So again, another one from Kazakhstan. Oh, actually, the other one was from Uzbekistan. The Scythians had the good drugs. All right. Archaeologists unearth 3,000-year-old Urartian murals. You ever hear of Urartu? It's a place called Ararat in the Bible. Urartu. Yeah. It's anyway, it's in What would it be in today? Turkey. Yeah, it's in Turkey today. Hence on the Archaeo News website. But anyway, yeah, they uncovered Urartian murals. Now, they've been excavating Urartu a lot lately, okay? But now they found mural complexes deep under the city of Van, okay? So take a look here. They're underground in these tunnels, and they have found wall paintings from Urartu, okay? Discovering sculptures is great, okay? But you can expect to find them. Paint, very difficult to find in some places anyway. So paintings, amazing. Look at that. And here's another one down here. You can still see some of the blue. I don't know if you know this or not, but the blue lasts longer than other colors. And here you can see them close up. The red is there as well. And they think they may see the figures up on top. See, they're people. So the first guess is that they're gods, okay? Or processions or mythological scenes tied to royal or religious rituals. In other words, they can only guess, okay? But there they are. Pretty cool. Look at that. Now, they want to make sure they protect them. Whenever you find things like this and you start exposing them to the air, there's going to be some, wear and tear. So they have to make sure that they are preserved. Anyway, I thought that was interesting too. All around the world, folks. Okay. Archaeologists reveal second largest Roman olive oil mill in the Roman Empire. Yeah. So this is in Tunisia. Okay. Where they filmed Star Wars? Yeah, Tunisia. At the ancient Roman site of Cilium, well, that's what we say in English, but Kilium is how they would have pronounced it. But it's on the border of present-day Algeria, and they already knew about this archaeological site, but they're finding new things there, and they just found a brand new olive oil mill. Yeah, they made olive oil there in Roman times. Led by Professor Luigi Sperti. Can you guess what country he's from? Yes, he's from the Venice Archaeology Study Center. Yeah, you can see a little bit more here. Okay. Yeah, they found other things as well, but I thought the olive oil mill was pretty cool. How do you know if it's an olive oil mill? Well, there's a few different ways, but they already know how they made olive oil. So if you can find some of the accoutrements that go along with the making of the olive oil, then you know it is. And also if you can find remains of vessels with olive oil in them and so forth. Yeah. Venice, represent. You find what you find. It makes sense that rich people's graves would be protected more for a while anyway. When in doubt, ritualistic. Well, it's a joke. It's a joke even among archaeologists, by the way, about that. But that's because, it's an educated guess because in past times, in ancient times, religion was tied with everything. We have documents showing this, right? It's only in the last few hundred years that humans have been trying to separate politics and religion, right? And things have become more secular. But there was no secularism, generally speaking, in the ancient world. Everything was tied to religion. So it makes sense, right? Time and time again, we find things and then they end up proving to be gods or something, representations of gods. So that's why it's guessed to be ritualistic. Doesn't mean it has to be, okay? But it's a decent guess. Olive groves nearby. Aubrey with all the jokes around here. Okay. Poor people were not allowed to die or retire until the abolition of serfdom. All right. A ritual could be interpreted as a procedure, even a recipe. Well, I think when they say ritual, they are tying it into religion. Yeah. No, not Carthaginian. I don't think. It would have been that area would have been controlled by Carthage at one time, but actually in Tunisia, it's a little bit to the east. Is it on the east side? No, it's near Algeria. Might have been controlled by Carthage at one point. But this is a Roman olive oil mill. World of Antiquity, the Upanishad. Hey, everybody. I just noticed there's 0 out of 10 super chat donations. Come on, man. $5? No. All right. The Upanishads is some of our oldest writings. Yes, they are some of the Vedas are older, but of course the Upanishads are, well, actually the Upanishads are commentaries on the Vedas, so they're part of that whole corpus, but yes, they're very old. When were blood sacrifices scientifically tested the last time? What do you mean? Where? And you mean the blood is tested? You have to clarify on that one. All right, let's look at another one here. Mapped for the first time, the hidden underground tunnels of Veii, the Etruscan city that once defied Rome. We usually call it Veii, but I guess you can call it Veii as well. This is a very important Etruscan city. You've heard of the Etruscans, right? They were the big power in Italy before the Romans grew up. And they even had Etruscan kings ruling Rome for a little while. But yeah, this is the site of Veii. And there are tunnels, underground tunnels at this ancient city. For the first time, archaeologists have completed a full technological mapping of the underground tunnel system beneath the ancient Etruscan city of Veii, a major urban center that once rivaled early Rome. Using state-of-the-art rover technology, originally developed for aerospace missions, researchers have reconstructed a complex subterranean landscape. Hydraulic systems, ritual basins, hidden channels, cisterns, wells, and long-forgotten galleries that underpin one of the most sophisticated cities of pre-Roman Italy. Isn't this cool? Anyway, here's a bit, but there's a website. Where is it? I guess if you go here, you can go to the Mapping Project website. But that's cool. Oh, David, thank you so much. $10 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It helps the channel keep going. This is my main job, folks. I do teach part-time at the local college, but that's not my main job. This is my main job. Great. By the way, if you're interested in the Etruscans, I might as well. This is like the first public announcement of this, but I'm planning another trip, exploration of ancient Italy. We're going to look at the Etruscans and the Romans and the Neolithic culture of Sardinia. Yeah, I know I've got Sardinia fans in the audience. We're going to Sardinia. This will be in May, okay? And but all the details are not up yet. You cannot reserve your spot yet. None of that's set up, okay? We're still working out the itinerary, but that's the main, purpose of this mission, okay? It will be in May. And if you want to be on the waiting list, so I'm organizing a waiting list for this. If you want to go and you want to be the first to know, okay, I'm going to tell people on the waiting list first about this, okay? And if you want to be on the waiting list, you have to give me your email. I'll tell you where to go. But you get on the waiting list. It doesn't mean you're in. It means you have the first dibs at getting in, okay? And there are only 20 spots. So, because that's how many fit on the bus, all right? Now, let me give you... I was going to put it under this video, and I forgot. I guess I can give it to you now, because for people who don't want to wait. Or do you want to wait for me to finish this and then I'll put it there? But actually, it might take me a couple minutes to get the website address because I don't have it handy with me right now. But I will put it under this video. You just got to remember to come back, okay? And you can get on the waiting list, all right? Oh, we've got more. Okay. Nubleton. 20 DKK. Thank you so much. I don't know how much that is, but thank you. I bet it's good, okay? And thank you, 7Aju5R. Appreciate it. $10. Thank you. Wayne, thank you so much. There, I expect something back at Christmas, sir. Really do appreciate honest historical and architectural news to counter Tartarian and mud flood believers with. Ah, okay. Thanks, Wayne. Much appreciated. Since the myth that megalithic constructions came from agricultural literate civilizations with towering social hierarchies has been debunked, has this affected your POVs? Well, I never thought that, Mr. Cranen. I never thought that. I knew. I mean, not that I knew. The archaeologists were already saying that, you know, hunter-gatherers were able to build monuments with large megaliths, right? With megaliths. So I kind of expected that. But a lot of people, especially older people, I think, who grew up, you know, learning all this in the 60s or whatever, find that hard to believe. They're like, hunter-gatherers, they're just like these nomadic savages, aren't they? They can't build anything. But they can. Yeah. And we're just finding out that more and more. I'd love to go, but I have a farm to maintain. Okay, Jason. If only Claudius's history survived. I know, it was supposed to be good. I would love to go, but I'm a poor working class sort. Well, I appreciate the sentiment anyway. How easy is it to find a guide for the pyramids once you're in Egypt? Oh, when you get there? Oh, there'll be people running up to you. But to find a good guide, oh, that's a different question, okay? If you want a good guide, call my friend Ehab. Email my friend Ehab, okay? In my latest Egypt videos, I put his contact information under those videos. Look up Ehab. He's a great guide, okay? Thank you for teaching us so much about the new finds. Oh, my pleasure. All right, let's look at another one here. I'm going a little too slow. Oh, what happened here? I think it's reloading. Huh? Come on, man. All right, we'll go to this one. That one's loading. We'll go back to it. Okay. Ancient anchorage and 3 shipwrecks discovered off Phthia reveal 4,000 years of maritime traffic. So we found some shipwrecks. Okay? Some of them are from later, like Ottoman period, but they found from the Bronze Age a wreck between 4th century BCE and 6th century CE, I think, as the anchorage. So that's where, of course, the boats anchored. All right? But then there are actual boats as well. 3 shipwrecks, okay, that are quite old. You can see some of the remains here. There were storms, of course, that sunk these ships. Among the most prominent recent finds are the Kumluja ceramic wreck, widely covered in international media, the Middle Bronze Age Kumluja wreck, considered the world's oldest known shipwreck. Middle Bronze Age, folks. Yeah. And then there's another shipwreck, a Roman merchant ship that was found elsewhere. This is off Majorca's Playa de Palma. You can see that here. Look at this. All right. 1,700-year-old Roman merchant ship. And, I mean, shipwrecks are cool as they are, but they're also extremely informative, right? Because what would happen if these ships didn't sink? Well, these all the goods would have gone somewhere, sold, and then consumed and used, and that would be that. We wouldn't know anything about like how they transported things, what were in them, you know, all of the methods of shipping, all of that. We wouldn't know. So it's great to find that, and also to find out what people were trading and where it was going. All of that you can get from shipwrecks, and so lots of information from this. Yeah. Now Roman shipwrecks, of course, are far more common than older ones, but it's great to find the older ones too. Okay, people are talking about mud flood. All right, let's talk about. Well, this one's still loading. Come on, I had some great pictures on this one. What happened? So strange. I had it up right before I started broadcasting. All right. Well, anyway, let's go to this one. 1,400-year-old hieroglyphs reveal name of powerful Maya queen. Yes, they have figured out the name of a queen from this stela at Kobaha. I've been to Kobaha. There's a video on Kobaha that I made back in 2019, and it's a cool site. And there's all kinds of stelas that have been found there. But they finally were able, because, we're reading Maya hieroglyphs better and better these days. I can't read them. And now we can make out names a lot better. So we found out the name of this Maya queen. She ruled Koba, and her name was Ixchak'in. Yeah, in the 6th century. That's the 500s CE. So I thought that was a cool new discovery. Red, thank you so much for the $5. Appreciate it. Wonderful. All right, let's look at this one. Was this pharaoh buried in another king's tomb? New Tanis evidence uncovers a royal cover-up. Ooh. All right. Yeah, so Tanis is another cool place you should go to. And I went to Tanis, and I got to actually go in some of the royal tombs, but they forbid me from filming. Yeah. So I couldn't show you, and it would have been great. Okay. They forbid me from filming because they weren't allowed to bring anyone in there. I didn't force them. I didn't even ask. They're like, "Hey, you want to go inside?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, okay." But you can't. No YouTube. Okay. Like, okay. So we went in there. He says, "Oh, if you show on YouTube, I will lose my job. My children will eat sand," he says. But anyway, so couldn't show you. But there's a tomb of Osorkon II. Okay, this is the 22nd dynasty of Egypt. And one of the things they noticed about Osorkon II's tomb is that there's another burial within his tomb. Okay, and whose is it? Okay, there was no inscription indicating its owner, but a major new discovery suggests that this secrecy was no accident and that Pharaoh Shawshank III may have been deliberately hidden away in a predecessor's tomb, the victim of a political burial decision that reshaped the final chapter of Egypt's 22nd dynasty. Yeah, well, the Egyptian-French archaeological mission there uncovered 225 Ushabti figurines. I don't know if you know what Ushabtis are. Sometimes they're just called Shabtis. They're basically little figurines that serve as servants in the afterlife, okay? And they were buried there. Well, anyway, they've found these Ushabtis just now, okay? And they had inscriptions indicating they belonged to Shawshank III, okay? So they were right about who it was. He was the missing pharaoh, right? So they were thinking he would be in there. Yeah. They bear the name of Shawshank III, and they were found inside the northern chamber of Osorkon II's burial complex. So now we know for sure, pretty sure, that Shawshank III is the one that was buried in his predecessor's tomb. Yeah. He reigned from 825 to 773 BCE or thereabouts. So that's pretty cool. Scientists just remapped the entire Roman road system, all 300 kilometers of it. Not all roads lead to Rome, but a lot of them did. So yeah, they just did a new systematic study of all the Roman roads. Here you can see it. Okay, can I click on this? Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you can see all the lines. Those are the Roman roads. Now, there were Roman road maps made before this, and some of them were very, very good. But this one is the most accurate to date. All the Roman roads are on here, and I think, well, this is not the high resolution version, okay? But I think you can access the real one. But yeah, they've done all the Roman roads, and I thought that was really cool. It's a brand new release, just came out. If you're interested in the Roman roads, this is it, okay? And what they found is that the Barrington Atlas of the Greek and Roman world, which had a great Roman road map, okay, was wrong in a lot of places, okay? And so they fixed it. Yeah. This is how they located the roads, okay? They're using, modern technology to figure out where all the Roman roads were, okay? And so that's really cool. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm cruising through these because of time. Let's see. Could I put myself on the waiting list? Yes, Herodotus. I'm going to add the link under this video as soon as I get off, okay? You have to wait, and then you can get on the waiting list. Do blind people go to ancient sites, and are they allowed to feel the place out, or do they just get texts? Are you blind, Frank? I don't know. I don't know if they do. I mean, have I seen any blind people at an archaeological site? Maybe. It would be very difficult because most places, they don't have, you know, like the kind of braille signage or anything like that would help them. So I don't know. I don't know. I've seen the Roman road remapping study, truly transformative. Oh, cool, cool. All right, I got to move on. The Lady of the Inverted Diadem, 7th century BC. A fallen aristocrat unearthed in Boeotia, Greece. So yeah, so here we have, I don't know if you know where Boeotia, Greece is. It's kind of near Thebes in Greece. It's kind of in central Greece, okay? Yeah, they found this 7th century BC Lady of the Inverted Diadem. They call her that because she's wearing a diadem on her head upside down. They buried her that way. Now, explain that one, huh? They have a few theories about that maybe she was of a royal lineage that was no longer in power and they wanted everyone to know or something like that. But yeah, she had the diadem on upside down. Maybe it was a prank. Who knows? There she is, okay? An aristocratic woman. And she was buried with all kinds of cool things. Look, you can see her hair. Here's the bronze diadem. Look at that. It's got lions on it. This was on her head upside down. Okay, but that's the diadem. And then you can see here more of the diadem. It had a sun-shaped rosette that would have been on her forehead. Probably at one time it says gleaming. Yeah, and a few other things here. Jewelry and ornaments that were with her. Yeah. So they're calling her a fallen aristocrat because of the diadem thing. That's an interpretation, of course. But that was a cool find. And then here we have another one from Turkey. The ancient city of Tharsa. They found a chamber tomb. Look at this. It's 1,800 years old. Look at that. Okay. Just found. 1,800 years old. That was put it in the Roman period. All right. And you can see inside. It has detailed carvings and symbolic motifs in it. These pictures don't really show it all that well. Well, I guess you could, well, a little bit you can see. Let's see. A lot of it is worn. Those are all the pictures. Yeah. But more than 50 chamber tombs have been revealed in Tharsa to date. So this is just, they found another one. But it's a pretty cool one. And then I've got 3 more stories to share with you, and then I have to go. Hadrian's Wall. Okay, you know about Hadrian's Wall? I did some videos at Hadrian's Wall too. But this is a new part of Hadrian's Wall that has been discovered. Okay, and the reason why it is so cool is it is further west than any part of the wall that has yet been found. I think when I made my video, I was saying, oh, the wall went to Carlisle, you know. But this is west of Carlisle, okay? So it went further, okay? Once in a generation find. It was made by volunteers working at Drumburg, about 10 miles from Carlisle, during a 3-week dig, okay? Yeah, look at this, part of the wall. So it's looking more and more like that wall went all the way across, folks. Yeah. I mean, I guess we suppose, I mean, it wouldn't have worked well if it didn't go all the way across, I guess. But there you go. So the most western part of the wall to date. And then here, French archaeologists uncover a vast Roman burial area with cremation graves fed by liquid offerings. So a massive cemetery, brand new. They found this cemetery they didn't know about before. More than 160 graves. They're cremation graves, okay? At the site of Olbia. It was originally a Greek settlement and then became Roman. The people who lived there were the Massielotes, the people of nearby Massilia, which is in Marseille, France, were living in Olbia. Yeah. All the graves date to the Roman period between the 1st and 3rd centuries AD, and show the different ways people at the time dealt with the dead. So I'm sure we will find some cool things there. You know, I just want to mention this. I may have mentioned it before, but cemeteries are the most common finds of ancient times, right? Tombs and cemeteries. That's what we find the most of. It's not that we want to find the tombs and the cemeteries the most. It's that they're outside of town usually. They're out in the middle of nowhere. You know, they have the cemeteries out on the outskirts. So, you know, ancient towns kind of, sometimes they just keep building on them and they disappear, you know, but then you still have the cemeteries. That's why we're always finding these, okay? How did they decide where the wall ended originally? I think they, first of all, they go with what they find, okay? Well, here's where we see it, okay? And then they can, you know, make an interpretation. Well, I think it may have gone to here, or, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if, you can also use documentation, right? Because if it mentions like, oh, they were stationed at the wall at such and such a site, and you know where that site is, that also might give you some clues, right? I don't know if there are Roman documents mentioning any part of the wall west of Carlisle. There could be, but I'm not sure. All right, one more here, folks. Ancient harbor discovered underwater in Perinthos. So this is an underwater discovery, but it is next to an archaeological site, okay? So it's part of the city that, you know, is now underwater at the ancient site of Perinthos, yeah. 5,000-year-old ancient city, okay? Now, that is very old, okay? 3000 BC, okay? Yeah. A harbor structure beneath the sea they found. Our underwater dives have begun. The aim is to document the cultural assets submerged in the sea. We have identified small findings, such as sarcophagi and block stones, but more importantly, a harbor structure has been detected in the eastern or commercial port area. Yeah. By the way, Perinthos wasn't only inhabited 5,000 years ago, but it continued to be inhabited. Settlement from prehistoric times. It was long written in ancient sources and modern literature that this ancient city was founded by settlers from the Greek island of Samos in the 6th century BC. However, this information has now been overturned because we have found numerous remains from earlier settlements. Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting discovery as well. Okay. But I shouldn't say, when it says 5,000-year-old ancient city, okay, I have to make this clear. It wasn't a city 5,000 years ago. This is what happens a lot. Like whenever people say, like, what is the oldest city in the world that's still around, you know? And they'll say such and such, or they'll just refer to an ancient city and they'll say, oh, it was founded in this year. But it wasn't founded as a city, right? It became a city. It grew into a city. Okay? So all cities start out as villages, and then they turn into towns, and then those towns turn into cities. It takes time, right? So yeah, it goes back 5,000 years at Perinthos, and that's great, okay? But it wasn't a city right away. It took some years for that to happen. Yeah. Okay, folks. Well, I'm going to have to end it there. But as soon as I get off, I will do a couple of things. I'll put the links to the all of the websites here that I've just showed you, and I will give you the link to if you want to be on the list, the waiting list for the trip. Oh, by the way, there's another link that I put in my my community posts on this page, okay, on my YouTube page. Check it out. I got a new T-shirt. I don't have one yet, but it's got the pyramids on it, and it says under it 100% Egyptian made. It's on sale right now, because it's everything's on sale right now. So. But some people said something about, oh, the shirt is 100% Egyptian made. No, it's a pun, okay? It's talking about the pyramids. If you want to make a statement, okay, that the pyramids were not built by aliens or Atlantis, okay, you can get one of my 100% Egyptian made pyramids t-shirt, okay? Or you can get them as other things too. You can get it as a hat, or the design comes on everything. So that is in my community section on the YouTube page where I made posts. But I'll put that under this video too. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And stay tuned for more videos. And thank you to those of you who donated. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day.